Assalamu alaikum everyone. I'm Arsha, Education Wali. I welcome you all to my another session of ChatGPT on a topic how to set boundaries in relationship and stay true to yourself. So to start with this, let's first know what are actually our boundaries. Okay, so. mm Okay, so boundaries are not walls, they are bridges to healthier connections. In every relationship, whether family or friendship, boundaries help us protect our values, maintain respect, and honor our individual. Without them, we risk losing ourselves in the expectations of others. So, today, let's reflect on how we can set boundaries that nurture both closeness and authenticity, ensuring we remain true to who we are, building meaningful bonds. So, to discuss with that, we have Maya here. Let's call Maya.
What's up?
Yes, Maya, how are you?
I'm doing great. Just riding a wave of good energy today. How about you? How's your afternoon treating you so far?
Alhamdulillah, it's going good. So, I want to discuss with you on the topic how to set boundaries in relationships and stay true to yourself. Are you ready for that?
That is such that is such a vital topic. It's
Okay.
one of those things that sounds simple on paper but feels incredibly messy in practice. I'm definitely ready.
So, what does the
Where do you
word
want to
boundary mean to you in the context of relationship?
To me, a boundary isn't a wall to keep people out. It's more like a map. It's you telling the people you love, here is where I end and you begin. And this is what I need to stay healthy and present in this relationship. It's basically the set of rules that allows you to love someone without losing yourself in the process.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Okay.
that fine line between being, I feel like a lot of people mistake boundaries for being cold or selfish, but it's actually the opposite. It's the
Yes.
thing that keeps you from getting resentful, which
But
is what usually kills a relationship.
yes,
Do you find that
then
it's harder to set those limits with certain people than others?
yes, sometimes because they think that when we make boundaries, they feel like we don't want to be mixed with them. We don't want to mix with them, and we are selfish. So they feel like that. What do you say about those people's? How to deal with them?
That's the that's the classic pushback. It's tough when someone frames your needs as a lack of love. The trick is to change the narrative from I'm keeping you out to I'm doing this so I can be better when I'm with you. If you're burnt out or resentful because you never say no, you aren't actually giving them your best self, right?
Yes. So why do you think
Exactly.
some people struggle to set boundaries with loved ones?
I think a lot of it comes down to fear. There's often this deep seated fear that if we stop being the helpful one or the one who always says yes, the other person will stop valuing us. It's
Okay.
that worry that our value in the relationship is tied to how much we do for others rather than who we actually are.
Okay. So
It's a tricky spot.
yeah.
It really is.
So
It's a lot to
like,
know.
how can you tell when a boundary is being crossed?
Usually your body tells you before your brain does. It often shows up as that sudden flash of resentment or a feeling of tightness in your chest when someone asks for something. If you find yourself saying yeses, but feeling a heavy sense of dread or annoyance the moment the words leave your mouth, that's usually a sign that a line has been crossed.
So what role does self-awareness play in defining healthy boundaries?
That's everything. You can't protect a line that you haven't actually drawn yet. Self awareness is how you figure out where those lines even are. It's the difference between reacting to someone's behavior and actually knowing why it bothers you. Without it, you're just guessing at what you need, which makes it way harder to communicate those needs to other people.
Okay. So, how can
It really is.
communication help in expressing boundaries without creating conflict?
The secret is in the phrasing. Instead of saying, you always do this, or you're overstepping, which immediately puts people on the defensive, you lead with your own experience. Using I statements like, I feel overwhelmed when X happens and I need Y to stay balanced shifts the focus. It makes it about your needs and your health rather than their faults, which makes it a lot harder for them to argue against.
So, it means you say we should not argue on that.
Exactly. Because you're not debating their character or telling them they're wrong. You're just stating a fact about your own capacity. It's hard for someone to argue with how you feel.
So, what if they feel that I'm wrong?
That's the tricky part. Here is the honest truth. They might. They might think you're being unfair or too strict or just plain wrong. But the thing about boundaries is that they aren't a negotiation. You aren't asking for permission to have a limit. You're informing them that the limit exists. If someone feels you're wrong for having a need, it usually just confirms why that boundary was necessary in the first place.
Okay. So, what are the examples of boundaries that protect emotional well being?
There are a few that really make a difference. One big one is an emotional energy boundary, like deciding you don't have the headspace to help someone process a crisis right when you've walked through the door after a long day. Then there's the time boundary, where you protect your morning routine or a specific hour of the day is non negotiable. And then there are communication boundaries, like letting someone know that you're happy to discuss a problem, but not if the conversation involves yelling or insults. Which one of those feels the hardest to actually enforce?
Hmm, I think
Oh,
the
sorry, I just,
yeah.
no worries.
So, how do cultural or family expectations influence the way we set boundaries?
They play a huge role. Most of us grow up with an invisible script. If you were raised in a family where boundaries were seen as disrespect or where one person's needs always came before everyone else's, that becomes your blueprint. You start to believe that being good means having no limits. So when you finally try to set one as an adult, it feels like you're breaking a law you didn't even know existed.
Okay. So, what strategies
Okay.
can help someone stay true to themselves when pressured by others?
It's a bit like training a muscle. The first thing is the strategic pause. When you feel that pressure, instead of an automatic yes, just give yourself 5 seconds. It breaks the cycle of people pleasing. Then do a quick internal check. Ask yourself, am I saying yes because I want to or because I'm afraid of the reaction? Reminding yourself that you are responsible for your own peace, not for everyone else's mood, is a huge shift. Do you think you're more likely to give in to the pressure in the moment, or do you regret it later after you've already said yes?
Yeah, sometimes I regret it later after saying yes.
That's a really common pattern.
It
It's that moment
happens like
where
sometimes when I feel like I should not say no. So every time I am present everywhere. So how should I avoid that thing? Then after I regret, why did I say yes?
that's that obligation trap. It happens because you're prioritizing the other person's immediate expectation over your own long-term peace. To stop that, try using buffer phrases instead of yes or no. Say, let me check my schedule and get back to you.
Okay.
It gives you the space to step out of that social pressure and actually ask yourself if you have the energy for it.
Hmm.
When you remove the immediate need to respond, the guilt usually loses its power.
Yeah, so what is one boundary you believe is non negotiable for maintaining your identity?
For me, the boundary of authenticity. I think the most non negotiable thing is refusing to just echo what someone wants to hear. If I just agreed with everything, I wouldn't actually be a partner in the conversation. I'd just be a mirror. Staying true to my own point of view, even if it's a bit challenging, is what makes a connection real. If you lose your perspective just to keep the peace, you aren't actually in the relationship anymore. Only a version of you is.
Okay, it means you say
Okay,
that we have to speak.
exactly. It means that speaking your truth, even if it's a no or a disagreement, is actually the most respectful thing you can do. Because if you're
What
not
if,
being honest about,
what
I was
if,
saying that
yeah, please.
if you aren't being honest about who you are and what you need, then you're essentially lying to the people you love. You're giving them a version of yourself that's curated for their comfort, but that's not a real connection. It's just a performance.
But
Does that
saying
make sense?
truth always spoils your relationship, isn't it?
I get why it feels that way. It can definitely cause a shakeup in the short term. But the real question is, what kind of relationship is it if the only way to keep it together is by hiding who you are? If a friendship spoils because you set a healthy boundary, it usually means the friendship was based on you doing exactly what they wanted, not on a mutual respect for who you actually are.
Okay.
It's a tough pill to swallow, but think of
Yeah.
it as a filter. The people who truly care about you will adjust to your boundaries because they value you more than they value your compliance. The ones who leave
Exactly.
were only there for the convenience you provided. It hurts to lose them, but it makes room for the people who actually see you.
Yes, of course. Okay, thank you so much, Maya, for this information and for this talk conversation. It was beautiful, and I have learned a lot from you. Thank you so much. See you in the
You
next
are so
video.
welcome.
See you in
It
the
was
next
truly my.
session. Yes, please.
I can't wait. Me too. Take
Bye.
care of yourself until then. Bye.
Thanks everyone for watching this insightful conversation with Maya. See you in the next conversation. Until then, bye bye.